Hey everyone, Captain Amazing here, and today we're going to go over how you can scout your opponent in Grand Arena. So if you like this content, go ahead and like and subscribe. So let's jump into it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to look at our opponent. So my opponent for today is Stopper, the Dark Lord. So we're going to go ahead, enter our Grand Arena. So before we actually jump into swgoh.gg, I like to look at my opponent's account. I like to do this in-game because I'm most comfortable with their interface, but you can also do it in swgoh.gg. So let's see what they have for ground characters. They have 4 GLs, so JMK, Lord Vader, C, SLKR. They like to keep R8 as the average. They have GAC, Admiral Raddus, Grand Inquisitor, Malgus, so a good amount of stuff. Let's see their ships. So they have Scythe, so that's concerning. So they have Profundity, Executor, Negotiator, Malevolence, Chimera. Let's see if they have invested into their Marauder, which they have. So even though they don't have Leviathan and they don't have all their stars on all these ships, they have a decent fleet. So let's see what they do with it in swgoh.gg. This is my swgoh.gg profile. So I'll go over here to GAC bracket. And then from here, it's going to have our opponents. So I'll go ahead and click on Stopper. So it does give us kind of a synopsis over here of what they have going on. So I'll click on Stopper. And now it takes me to his profile. And then I can click over here on the left to GAC history. So let's go ahead and look at their defenses for what they normally place. All right, so Qui-Gon Jinn, that we saw that before. Grievous, we saw that. JMK, we saw that. Revan. So far it looks like this player is pretty consistent with what they place on defense. So on their back wall, it looks like they have Raddus, Iden, and Sortie. So what that means for me is I should probably save my Wampa for Iden. I think they place this Grievous on the front wall as a kind of a trap. So for this Grievous, I can just use Savage solo. And then because I scouted, now I know, okay, they have a Iden in the back. And then Sortie, I could use, it's not high relics or anything. It does have the droid brothers. I can use either bounty hunters or probably Jedi Knight Revan. And then I can use Jedi Knight Luke here on Admiral Raddus. There's no tank, so I don't really need I don't need Jedi Knight Revan with him, just because there's no tank, so I don't need that marked. So now that I scouted my opponent, I know, okay, this is what he has on the back wall. I don't know what he places on fleets because this player didn't attack fleets. But if I look at his attack, I can see what he usually does on offense here. Okay, so pretty standard stuff. So I can see that, you know, he takes 3 GLs on offense usually. And then he didn't do anything with fleets on this round, so I can't see his fleets. So let's look at the second round. Okay, on the second round, he got held up on a Lord Vader. So if someone's watching, if I had a Lord Vader on defense, or if I had a Lord Vader in my account, then I would know, hey, this player messes up on Lord Vader, so it would have been smart for me to place a Lord Vader on defense against him if I had it. So that's another way you can use this. If you look at their offense and see what usually stumps them, you can place that on defense when you look at their offense. So let's see. This player looks like he doesn't change his defense, which is good. So it means he's consistent with what he places. I think they changed something here because they didn't have Night Sisters before. Yeah, Padme. So yeah, so pretty much the same. No differences here. Yeah, no answer to fleets. So hopefully in the third round we get an answer of what kind of. Yeah, no fleets here again. Interesting. Very interesting. So I don't get to see what they do on 3s and fleets. So the good thing is fleets is pretty much the same. So I'm going to go to 5s and all right, this guy didn't play 5s. All right. So he takes Malevolence, Negotiator, Executor. Okay. So maybe he has Chimera and Profundity on defense. Maybe because they have I think if I would have had the Negotiator and the Profundity, maybe I would have used it. Maybe he still has Chimera, or maybe Chimera's on defense. I don't know. It's hard to tell because no one's so far attacked his. Yeah. Okay, let's see before. So this is really old data, but this can give me some insight on what he uses on ships. Yeah, so like for this player, unfortunately, okay, so it looks like he has an executrix on his back wall. This is really old data, so maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. So unfortunately for me in this round, I don't have any fresh data for their ships, so I'm gonna have to go in blind on their ships. I do know now that I scouted him, I have to save Wampa for the back wall for Iden, and then I just have to find other solutions for that front wall for something that I would normally Wampa, such as like Grievous. I'll just use like a Savage solo, and that could deal with that Grievous. But that's how you scout an opponent. You look at their offense, you see what they normally use, and you can use the power of deduction to, if you can't see their defenses, that you can see their offense to see what goes on. It looks like this player just doesn't like fleets, to be honest. It looks like they just don't engage in it, very often. So out of like 3 months of data, or 2.5 months of data, they've only really attacked fleets one time. So it's not a lot of information there. And if I go any older, then it's just absolutely stale information. I also know that they don't really change their defense as much, and that they don't really they take 3 GLs on offense pretty reliably. So that's what I have knowledge-wise on this guy, and that's going to give me some good insights on what I can do on my offense and setting my defense. So if I notice, like for example, if this player went all his GLs on defense, then I could put a really strong GL on defense that requires pretty much a GL to counter. And if they don't have that off meta counter, then I can hold them off on that wall and then be a little more efficient with my win, and I don't have to do like a full clear just to win. So that's some things that you can do when you scout, but swgoh.gg is really important. It's just how you can, what information can you gather from this, and then go with that. Sometimes players, and you really do have to look, don't look at just the 1 week, you have to look at a few weeks, because if you notice that this player is changing their defense all the time, changing their offense, then that means this data isn't as reliable. So you have to take it with a grain of salt. So you have to just plan on, okay, I'm gonna take out that bottom wall, plan on that, and then you can see the back wall and you can see what they do, and that's the best way that you can do it. There's just no other. If you have a highly competitive player and they change their defenses often, then that's just the best way. But a lot of people are just lazy and they do the same thing week after week. So you just have to use this data to have a advantage, and then you can plan your defense based on how strong of an offense they take or how strong of a defense, so that you can maximize what you place on defense, and then you can only take what you need on offense. And it's just a really effective way of playing this game. So if you like this content, go ahead and check out my other guides, and then like and subscribe. Take care.